Hello, hello, hello out there. So I was sitting here asking my daughter, I was like, ooh, it's rainy and it's cold outside. What should I vlog about today? And like nothing came to mind, like absolutely nothing. But I do want to say this. Life is good, right? Anybody who knows me, anybody who I've ever come across in the past 7 years of my life, they've known this one particular thing about me. I have been mentally obsessed with a white Range Rover. That's been something that I've wanted for a very long time. And I wanted the classic Range Rover. I didn't want this Evoque or these other little brands they come out with, or the Sport or anything like that. When I would think about the vehicle that I wanted to ride my children around in, it was always this big white Range Rover, right? And so I stuck it on my vision board. Like in 2010, I decided that, you know, I'm going to make a vision board. I got to hit the reset button. I was almost finished with my divorce. You know, things were starting to fall out of place so that they could eventually fall into place. And I put this on my vision board. And it's very interesting because I also put working on a PhD on it. I also put traveling with my children. I also put purpose-filled, positive friends. I also put things like the places I wanted to live, how they would look, right? All these things. And so kind of like about a month ago when I was at my mom's house going through some things that I took out of storage, I was going to take it with me, but for some reason I was driven to throw that vision board in the trash. I have no idea why, but this is the thing. When I think back at it, I've taken pictures of it because everybody knows. They would come to my house. This vision board has been up in my house for about 7 years, and I would add and take away things. But I felt like I needed to renew. So I'm almost ready to make a new one, but I haven't done it yet. But I put it in the trash because I just was moved to. But when I thought back, I was like, well, what was on that thing again? I forgot, like a little bit. But it was always like right in the middle of the living room, out front spaces. It was like, you know, all these things that I had accomplished, right? I'm currently working on the PhD. I consider myself to be financially free. I'm not in somebody's 9-to-5 that I do not like, and I take care of myself and my daughters really well because I have a hustler spirit, right? And I also live in the type of place that I wanted to live in. And we've traveled plenty. There was a little girl on an airplane with her mom and stuff. We travel a lot. And I also had like a homeschool thing. I do homeschool them now and it's no strain. And so there's so many things that has come to pass. Even the friends. I have wonderful, wonderful friends that are positive and purpose driven. And so that's cool too. So many things have come to pass that were on that vision board that I didn't even realize it till the other day. Well, circumstances were created that I wound up walking into the situation and experience where having that white Range Rover was a possibility. Because before then it was always like this distant thing. It's like, oh, it's something I'll have in the future, maybe when I'm older. You know, I always put this big huge price tag on it. But what I realize is that when you truly are dedicated and want something in your life and you want to experience something, you have to force yourself not to see it as future. And you also have to force yourself not to stick a price tag on everything, right? That's hard. So I got this Range Rover on Tuesday. And it's crazy because everybody I know is happy for me with this big, beautiful truck. And it's crazy because I've talked about this truck for so long. It's been on my vision board for so long. And every time people mention, there was no other vehicle I'd ever want to talk about but that white Range Rover. And this is the most interesting part. My daughters have talked about it forever too. I mean, they've been talking about a Range Rover for 5 years, and it almost got a little sad. They'd be like, yeah, because when we get the Range Rover, and a little piece of me would be like, well, what if I never get one? And they see that. But something switched in this year. Like 2017, I've made major shifts. I've developed new positive relationships. I've developed new habits of manifesting and like meditating, yoga regularly, positive thinking, affirmations, all these things that I was doing, but I wasn't necessarily dedicated to them. And I've also been free. when you're not like in relationships and things like that, and you get that in between time, the worst thing you can do is kind of like wish you were in a relationship. The best thing to do is kind of like be at peace with these gaps in this free time, right? So it's been exciting, and because for me, it's a way more about what we can do in our lives as opposed to the vehicle itself. It symbolizes truth and belief. And like my brother told me, he was like, I'm just so happy to see this, because he was just like, you were working on that manifestation for like 7 years. You were thinking about it and getting yourself ready for it and believing that anything was possible. And you said that you're going to be living the exact type of lifestyle that you want when that vehicle arrives. And you know that this is where you're destined to be. And I said that, and I thought about all the other things that were on the board. And I was like, oh God, I'm about to be a best-selling author, because that's on there too. And so, it's all good. And what's so crazy is that too, TEDx, I have TED Talk on my board. I was like, I want to do a TED Talk, all right? And so that's on my board too. And so a friend of mine works at a very prominent college, and I had no idea that she even worked there, because she's like, I talk about work when I'm at work, and when I'm not, I'm not. And I think that's very cool. And she's just like, there's a TEDx coming, and I want to send you the information. And I was like, send it, because right now I'm on a roll, right? So anyway, I guess I had a lot more to vlog about than I thought. Did somebody knock on the door? Oh, maybe I was hearing things, thinking it was my daughters. And something else. I might have mentioned this before, but my gratitude journal, man, I made this for myself, and then I just started giving it away on the website, because I was like, people need this. And it's like filled. I do every day of the week. Even if I forget a day of the week, I go back and thankful for general things that we're just thankful for anyway. And I take this book with me in my bag like almost everywhere I go, and I'm almost done with this. It's like a 90-day type thing, and I think it's wonderful, right? So my latest book, Stop Waiting on Other People's Yes, it's called Stop Waiting. My new release date for it, and I know I've changed it a couple of times. If you've been paying attention, well, probably not. People got their own lives. My new release date for it is going to be December 5th, which is my birthday, which is my 38th birthday. And I was like, what better gift than to give yourself than to release your book on your birthday, man? I mean, how can it get better than that? How can it get better than that? So anyway, I've been enjoying life. I've been enjoying just I can't even put it into words. Life has been good. I've even reached out olive branches to people that I normally wouldn't, because I want to like kill any negative energy. And even if it wasn't received, it's all good. I tried, right? And I've been in an excellent place. And that is what I wish for everyone that I come across. Anybody that I connect with, or anybody that I have conversations with, or that watches these videos online or something. I guess my biggest deal is that I hope you're enjoying your life. I hope you are excited that you get the opportunity to be here, that you get the opportunity to live and to experience and to play. Like life hasn't become this horrible bogged down thing for you that you dredge through every day, and you wake up in the morning and say, thank you for breathing. I mean, that's a wonderful thing to be thankful for, but there's so much more, right? And so that's why one of my biggest things is a regular gratitude practice, because I think when you're grateful, nothing else can live. Nothing else can breathe. There's no room for chaos when you're grateful for the things that are going right in your life. Because, you know, if you're grateful for just living and breathing and your children being healthy, and you're not at a children's hospital every day trying to, you know, get them on medications and all this, you know, you're just basic for that good basic stuff. Everything else becomes like, you know, just background noise. You know what I mean? Not even like at the forefront. It just becomes, this is just what life is. These are the vicissitudes of life. And, you know, but the biggest deal is that, hey, I'm here and I'm healthy and I'm smiling and I'm loved and I give love and I'm grateful and I receive what I give, right? And that's one of my biggest things now, is like, have what you seek. Have what you seek. So often we get out there and we try to get from people the stuff that we don't have inside of us. We're like, tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me I'm smart. You don't show me enough affection, you know. You don't love me enough. You're not, you know, grateful for my presence and all this kind of stuff. But do you love you enough? Are you grateful for your own presence? Are you happy to be with you all the time just because? Why would you expect anybody else to be this way when you are not in that space? Why, you know? Are you just happy to be in life? You know, why would you want somebody else to be that way if you're not it? You can't go around dragging people in thinking you can make them into something that you can feed off and become great with, when you got to become great on your own. You got to feel good on your own. You got to be happy with where you're at because you're just happy where you're at, right? And I think it's a wonderful place to be. And so one of the biggest things that I've been thinking about lately is like, you know, floating, like riding a wave. So I'm like past these phases where I'm fighting and gritting my teeth and trying to make things happen. Like I don't do that anymore. I'm kind of past that point. But every now and then the feeling hits me that I need to take action to bring things into my space. To bring things into my space, whether it's somebody that I want to get the attention of, whether it's something that I want to have, or whether it's money or something or a trip, I meditate on it. I clear my mind and I focus thoughts and attention in that direction, and I try to hold it there for at least 15 minutes of my time. And that's how I get things happening. And through that space, through those gaps, through that quiet time, that's when the inspired action or the inspired ideas actually come to you. And you're just like, wow, I got some real control over this thing, more than what I actually ever thought I did, right? And that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So I guess I did have something to blog about today. I'm listening to my daughters. Their dialogue is hilarious. I have to record them sometime and post it. So I guess that's it. I guess that's kind of, I can relate it to when I was in swimming classes this summer. I was learning the breaststroke and I was learning all these wonderful things and stuff. And what the coach told me was, he said, I noticed when you're doing